heavy rains and flash floods have caused damage to homes and livelihoods in Zambia since mid-January 2023. In Lusangazi district of Eastern Province, for example, several homes were damaged or destroyed on 16th January 2023. The Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit recently confirmed that 27 households were displaced and lost almost everything. In a quest to find solutions to responding to the challenges presented by climate change, such as floods affecting most parts of the country, President Hakainde Hichilema undertook a 2-day working visit and fact-finding mission to Mfuwe and Lusangazi districts of Eastern Province. The plane carrying the head of state touched down at Mfuwe International Airport in Mambwe district at 11 hours Zambian time. The head of state, accompanied by Minister of Health Sylvia Masebo and Home Affairs and Internal Security Minister Jack Mwimbu, was received by Eastern Province Minister Peter Piri, who briefed the head of state at the airport about the buildings as well as crops in Mambwe district, which were totally submerged in floods, adding that the situation has become desperate as the people have been displaced from their homes while their rice and maize fields had been completely destroyed by the flash floods.
Most of the fields have gone, others buried completely. Other places where we even had maize, which was tasseling, has dried up. Even rice fields are gone. Rice fields, almost every rice field, they are gone. And we've, in some places, even crossing points like the bridges in Lusangazi, we have one which is very important. It's gone. In another place here in Mambwe, we've got Malama, where we tried to go and check because it was part of the program. We could not even reach. It's unreachable. Even the chief to come here, he has to come by boat. So this is a very serious problem that we have. And you know, the local people in Eastern Province, they depend on farming. So the hunger starts now, so we need to find solution for the future.
President Hichilema met traditional leaders from Mambwe district and assured them of government's commitment to collaborate with them in driving the country's developmental agenda.
We should all work together to do everything possible to first and foremost protect lives, number one. Protect lives. Number two, property. Number three, obviously as part of protecting life, supporting life, is to feed our people. To feed our people now, up to the time when our people's situation will be slightly or much improved. So we need to work together. I've sent this message before. This is not a time to point fingers at anyone. This is a time to work as a team, and we'll be more effective, more successful working as a team. We want to confirm to you that DMMU and all government departments are working together to support our people in these areas I've mentioned. Temporary shelter, those who have lost homes. Food is number one anyway. And then, obviously, drugs where it's needed. That's our first call. This flood is largely arising from climate change. Into vachinja world. Mvula ikabwela kubwela tu. Ikaenda next time the penalty is up vutika na drought izaendela. So we now need to be more prepared than ever before. Storing food, not wasting food, very important. Your government will be always available to support our citizens wherever they are. Whatever the situation they face, that's why I decided to come here as part of my tours to assess the situation, the flood situation, and how it's affecting our people. And our main interest is to protect lives of our people. One life is too many. To protect property, people's property, government property, public assets, as much as possible.
After engagements with traditional leaders from Mambwe district, the head of state took time to visit people that were displaced by the floods. The president later headed to Lusangazi district. Upon arrival, the president paid a courtesy call on traditional leaders and thanked them for taking keen interest in the utilization of the constituency development funds.
We want to commit to you that we will not let them down. You and I have conversed a number of times about conversations, developmental issues, economic, social, specific sectors, funding, resources involved here, which you have touched on today. We committed to advancing the specific issues that we've covered in our various conversations. And I'm delighted that you have noticed some of those and we're taking them together. I'm very grateful that we're doing that, the CDF and NCDF, and we're thankful for the usage to which you're putting the CDF. Education is crucial. Health is truly also important. I'm sure you'll come around to some of the areas of application of the CDF. And when we have strong leadership like yours, then we're comforted that the communities for whom the resources are devolved to through the CDF will be able to make decisions on their priorities and will be supported together, of course, with our traditional leadership. And that brings me to the point of partnership.
The following day, the preparations for the consecration of Reverend Father Msipu Piri as the new auxiliary bishop of Catholic Diocese of Chipata had reached an advanced stage. Father Gabriel Piri was in December 2022 appointed by Pope Francis as the new auxiliary bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Chipata. Before his appointment, Father Piri was serving as manager for diocesan income-generating activities of Chipata Diocese.
He has served in a number of portfolios in this diocese as a parish priest, an assistant priest, parish priest. He has been the bursar of the diocese for a number of years. He has also served as the Vicar General of this diocese for a number of years. He has also served on the at ZCCB, serving the Council of the Bishops as financial director. It is about 2 years ago when he came back to the diocese to continue serving in this diocese. And we're very happy that Pope Francis has appointed him auxiliary bishop of Chipata Diocese. So we are very happy as priests, but together with Christians of this diocese and beyond this diocese.
To underscore the importance of the Church's interaction with government, Father Grevasio Zulu of the Catholic Diocese of Chipata was delighted to host President HICHILEMA at St. Anne's Cathedral, where he was to be guest of honor at the consecration of Reverend Father Gilbert Msipu Piri.
The Church and the government has always worked together because we believe as a church in integral development. That is the spiritual development and also the physiological development of a human person. So we are looking at one person, one citizen, which the government looks at, and that's the citizen or the human person that the church is looking at. So it means a lot to us, you know. If we relate well, the relationship is cordial and warm between the government and the church, then we're helping our people also to become more united, to build peace in this nation, which is so vital for any human development. Peace is so cardinal. So the church, over the years, has worked so well with the government. We always work with the government of the day, the president and his government. So we are very, very happy that he's coming, and he's very, very much welcome to the Eastern Province.
Later that day, scores of Chipata residents thronged the golf course to have a glimpse of the president. The wait was characterized by song and dance, as Ngoni impis were seen stomping their feet. The helicopter carrying the president landed at Chipata Golf Course at 18:30 hours. The head of state was welcomed by Eastern Province Minister Peter Piri, who was flanked by Minister of Agriculture and Minister of Water Development and Sanitation Mike Mposha, district commissioners, party officials, and scores of Chipata residents. The head of state was accompanied by Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit National Coordinator Dr. Gabriel Pollen and other government officials. The next day was the consecration of Bishop Gabriel Msipupiri, as a choir sang songs of praise to set the mood of the event. The event was attended by traditional leaders, Catholic congregants from Zambia, Malawi, Mozambique, and Kenya, among others. President Hakainde Hichilema arrived at St. Anne's Cathedral for the consecration mass of Reverend Father Gabriel Msipupiri. The president was welcomed by bishops. The head of state and his entourage were then ushered into the arena led by bishops. After a procession of events and rituals, and after Reverend Father Msipupiri was installed and anointed as the auxiliary bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Chipata, it was time for speeches. The new auxiliary bishop for Catholic Diocese of Chipata, Reverend Father Gabriel Msipupiri, implored the president to engage church leaders in matters of development.
President HH, as we call him, thank you for coming. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for your gift. I know you and we have a big responsibility. There's a lot that we need to do if people have to be at least better in terms of their standard of living. I want to go in each and every challenge that we are going through, but I hope to find time to sit down with you.
Bishop George Cosmas Zumairi Lungu urged the church that the need for company was not a gesture of cowardice, but a way of effectively conducting matters of the church. He also noted that the presence of the president at the consecration was evident to the seriousness he attaches to matters of the church.
We thank God for the gift of our auxiliary bishop, Right Reverend Gabriel Msipu, Piri. We receive him in the diocese as a special blessing to the local church of Chipata. I moved the motion to seek an auxiliary bishop for Chipata diocese for obvious reasons, some of which have been well articulated in the hymns composed for this occasion. Let me just add one or two reasons. Wisdom of the East, and I think Abenangumbo will agree with me, tells us that ukienda awiri simanta yai, to seek company on your journey is not a sign of cowardice. It is a gesture that one appreciates the need for company in managing situations and not going it alone. God gave Aaron to Moses for a similar reason. Jesus knew what he was doing by sending out 12 apostles and 72 additional disciples, 2 by 2. Therefore, allow me to thank most profoundly our Holy Father, Pope Francis, for responding positively to my cry. In fact, I consider the ordination of Bishop Gabriel Msipu Piri today as the most precious gift of my 20th anniversary of my episcopate, which we are going to celebrate on the 23rd of February. Thank you, Holy Father.
His Grace Ignatius Chama, the Archbishop of Chipata, noted that the event was to cement the relationship between the government and the Catholic Church, adding that it should be a partnership that acknowledges the input from both partners and accepting shortcomings.
Your presence, Mr. President, of honoring the Church in this way is a cementing of the relationship between your government and the Catholic Church. Yes, indeed, your government and the Catholic Church have been partners in serving the people in this country in areas of education, health, and developmental programs and projects, which even during our meeting last Thursday, you referred to. So it is our sincere prayer that this partnership does not become a partnership of horse and rider, but a partnership that embraces dialogue, that embraces an honest acknowledgement of the good being done by each partner and accepting the shortcomings. Mr. President, once more, on behalf of the Zambia Conference of Catholic Bishops, I say to you, thank you for honoring us today.
In delivering his keynote address, President Hakainde Hichilema congratulated Reverend Father Gabriel Msipu Piri for being consecrated as the auxiliary bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Chipata. The president further called for unity in the church and the country as a whole, adding that the presence of traditional leaders at the event was a uniting factor. The president also implored other traditional leaders to help unite the country.
First is to appreciate Bishop Lungu for inviting us here. I know through your committees, but we appreciate your decision to bring us together in this manner. In particular, myself and my colleagues wouldn't have spent this day doing something else other than being here today. So thank you, Bishop Lungu. I also wish early on to congratulate once more Auxiliary Bishop Gabriel Msipu Piri for your consecration today. And I'm beginning to appreciate even more the value of our bishops. What they have to go through to become bishops is a lot. My next message, very brief message, is to continue calling for unity. Unity in this diocese, Catholic Diocese of Chipata, in Chipata in Eastern Province. But staying with Eastern Province, how delightful it is to have our two paramount chiefs seated together there. Thank you very much for your leadership. The chiefs that fall under you will take this cue. You don't have to say to them, they have observed, they have seen. So we appreciate you, our two paramount chiefs, for helping unite our people. And through you, other traditional leaders to unite our country. And for us, the opposition there, we have to follow this cue to unite this country. We don't have a choice but to bring the country together, all the 10 provinces of Zambia, who are equal partners in this estate called Zambia.
After all was said and done, it was clear that unity of purpose, cemented by love and peace, reigned at the consecration of Reverend Father Gabriel Msipu Phiri as the new auxiliary bishop of the Catholic Diocese of Chipata. Having successfully officiated at the consecration, the president had a meeting with party officials and thereafter left for Lusaka.